Hello and welcome, one and all. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into how to overcome the fear of judgment and rejection. That's right, the fear of judgment and rejection, something that stops so many people from pursuing their dreams. So, let me ask you, have you ever had like a brilliant idea? You wanted to try something new? You got like the impulse to, I don't know, make music or learn to play a musical instrument, to do art, maybe an idea for a new business, or just you had like some life changing experience that you just want to share with others. And you start to think about, man, I really want to pursue this thing. And then the fear of what will people think of me? Oh my gosh, what if they judge me? What if people don't like me? And then that stops you in your tracks. And I believe that's not really serving the world. That's not what you were meant to come here and do. And so I just want to reassure you that the fear of judgment, the fear of rejection, it's a very common barrier to people pursuing their dreams. So you're not alone. And as we go through this, I'll explain why you're feeling that way. And I'm going to give you a lot of tools and insights into how to quiet those fears and to start stepping into your boldest and brightest self, your big, bold, bodacious self, you might say, because I think you were meant here. You were meant to shine your authentic light in the world. You have unique gifts to give, and so let's explore ways that you can do that more effectively. All right. So I'm Bob Baker. This is actually day 2 of a 7-day ambitious thing that I'm doing where I'm going live in 3 different locations. I'm going live on my Affirmations YouTube channel, on my Facebook page, and also on LinkedIn. And I'm going to be talking about different aspects of this topic, about shining your light brighter, about playing a bigger game in your life. And so, yeah, I've never done anything quite like this before, where I committed to 7 days in a row on the same topic going live. But here we are in day 2, and I'm having a great time. And so I'm looking forward to this week. So let's kind of jump into it here. Well, actually, I'm going to say hi to. I see Robin is already here. Thank you very much for the compliment on the background. It's a design I found on Canva. For those of you who are watching the video version of this, hello Jennifer. Of course, hello to Lisa Shepard here, who is our head honcho of helpfulness at bobbakerinspiration.com, and so she's always here to help out. And she's doing a lot of these processes as well, since she works for us. And also, hello to Dawn and Rev Mother T. Great to have you here. If you don't mind, because I do check in, we're going to do some interacting here, and I'd like to check in on the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. We had a lot of people from South Africa yesterday, so they were very prominent in the house. And so let me know where you're watching from, and maybe it's your first time connecting with me on a live stream. I would love to be able to say hi to you and just find out where this global audience is coming from. So let's dive into this. So we're talking about today. The focus is like how to overcome the fear of judgment and rejection. So what are the roots of this fear of judgment? There are many things that kind of cause this, because it's very common. So if you're feeling that, I want to let you know right off the bat, you are not alone. And so quite often it stems from childhood experiences. Maybe you had parents that weren't all that supportive, or one of your parents or grandparents was very demanding on you and, finding fault, or at least you perceived it that way. A lot of people who I grew up as an only child, and so I never had to deal with siblings, but I know if you have an older brother or sister, or even a younger one, they can really rattle you from a young age of making fun of you. Maybe you got picked on at school. That was my case. I was kind of a shy, insecure kid, and got knocked around and picked on and made fun of, and so that plagued me a lot in my early years. Could be societal conditioning, where you just believe that everyone is succeeding and thriving, and you look at your life and go, I'm not there, I'm not worthy, and then you worry that people are going to judge you for where you are. And there's a thing called, I've heard this term, cancel culture, of course, but I've never heard comparison culture. But I guess that's where you compare yourself to others online. Those people that have the Instagram lifestyles, and that's not really a true representation of their day-to-day lives. in many cases. But so there's many reasons that we feel this way. But I think there's one that's kind of wired into our survival, almost into our DNA as a species. Because like these days, things are a lot different. But many, hundreds of centuries ago, when humans were coming up, there was the tribal aspect, and you had groups of. I think they said that. I think I've read that like tribes and people can kind of be familiar with each other up to like about 150 people. Then it gets beyond that, and either the tribes split up or it gets a little chaotic. But people grew up in tribes or villages of people, and so if you were rejected over that course of history in those tribal time kind of eras, and you were excluded from the group, that meant your survival was in jeopardy. And so, yeah, making sure you stayed in the good, graces of the people that you and were in a community with was really important. And so rejection or someone not approving of you could have detrimental effects. And so in a way, I think that's kind of wired into our internal operating system, our DNA. And so just know that these days being rejected does not carry those dire consequences. Just because somebody doesn't approve of the way you look or speak or the message that you have, it's not going to really impact your life. It's going to impact you mostly internally, right? And so just realize that if that helps you to sort of alleviate that pressure of feeling rejected, kind of knowing why it is that humans kind of operate that way, and we're concerned about that. Because I know I have one daughter. She's 28 now, so I only had. And she's my only child, so I only had one experience of seeing someone grow up through this era. But there seems to be, when kids are born, we all were born, we were like fearless, and we were just playful and creative and curious and all that. And then at some point, when our brains develop, quite often it used to be like middle school. It might be even earlier now. And suddenly we're aware of the social structures. And suddenly now what other people think of us and what our status is becomes important, again, as our brains develop and our egos take over. And so this is just something that happens to human beings. And so as adults, we need to become aware of this and maybe tame that sucker so it's not slowing us down, right? Let me just check in with some people here and find out where some folks are from. Oh, hello, Maria. Great to see you here. Enjoyed exchanging emails with you. She's watching over on YouTube. We got Betty from Massachusetts. Oh my gosh, we got Amanda from Indonesia. It looks like it's midnight there in Jakarta. That's so cool. Blanca is from California. Is it Sanki? Sanjuta. I'm butchering these names. I apologize. From India, though. It's so great to have you here. Lisa, of course, is from Southern Oregon. We got Kanika from India. Dawn from Jamaica. Rev Mother T is Kansas. Robin is in Ohio. Oh, that's so great. I love seeing this global community here all come together. So I really appreciate you catching this notification, or maybe you're on my email list. And by the way, that is the best way to find out about my activities. Like when I'm doing things like this, when I've got new YouTube videos and podcasts out. If you're on the best way for us to communicate and to stay in touch with each other is for you to be on my email list. It's actually a newsletter called The Abundant Life that I use a website and a service called Substack that I really love. And so if you're not on that, I would encourage you to get on. It's free. There's free and paid options, but the free option is just fine. You'll get plenty of stuff. There's some perks if you want to spend a little bit, but to be a paid subscriber. But basically, you get free gifts when you sign up for this. You get a copy of our Turbocharge Your Life ebook that I co-wrote with my wife, Pookie Lee, and you get a free subscription to the Abundant Life newsletter. And that way, you'll be in the know on all of my activities moving forward, including the links to the rest of the things I'm doing in this 7-day series. This is day 2, as I mentioned. Tinika is from Nebraska. Let's see here. And Lynn Nelson is here. Awesome. So yes, so there are many reasons why we feel this way, and it's so when you do, please do not think that you're faulty for feeling this sense of being fearful of judgment and rejection. You're not faulty. It's just a human thing, but your awareness of it is going to help you dissolve that and replace it with a more empowering thing, right? So these fears are natural, but they don't have to control you. That's the bottom line here. Just know that they're natural. It's okay if you feel that way, but you can take steps, and that's what we're going to cover in this particular session. They do not have to control you at all. All right. Um, so let's also talk about this comparison thing and this topic that I like to talk about when you like admire someone. So quite often when we aspire to do something, whether it's write a book, play a musical instrument, sing, whatever it is, or start a business, quite often that is triggered or inspired by seeing someone that we look up to. For many musicians, they may have seen the Beatles or Led Zeppelin or Beyonce or somebody, or Taylor Swift. I don't know. There's a lot of young girls and actually older girls now are inspired by Taylor and people like her, and they go, "Oh my God, I want to do that. I want to write songs. I want to share my music with millions of people," or whatever that thing is. It could be start a business. You could be inspired by Steve Jobs or, people in technology or whatever. And I want to do that, and so there are different ways that you can be inspired or you can react to people that you look up to and admire. But one way is you can be intimidated by them. Oh my God, they're at this high level. Who am I? Just this little guy or gal person. There's no way I'm going to attach that. I don't. Why even try? It's just such a big leap. I can't do that. And if I try, people are going to make fun of me. So that's one way to react to someone that you admire and look up to. But another way is to be inspired by them. And that's the path that I've chosen over the years. Most of what I do, whether it's being an author, being a musician, being a YouTuber, is I saw other people doing this thing and it went, wow, that's really cool. I would like to do that too. And it awakened something within me that was already there that I was being made aware of. And so I followed that instinct. And not everything that I did panned out, but many things, that's for sure. And so that's another way you can do that. You see someone you admire, let it inspire you and let it pull you, let it give you the fuel to move toward that instead of being intimidated about it and thinking I'm not worthy. Again, if you're having those feelings, don't beat yourself up. Just now you have more of an awareness of why you're thinking that way. Also, there's a phrase that comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, if you're always comparing yours, and I fall into this trap too. I'm really happy with the growth of my YouTube channel. I mean, it's probably the most successful thing I've done as far as reaching numbers of people. It's the YouTube channel. It's got I just surpassed 400,000 subscribers in what is it, October or whatever of 2024. I know we're a month beyond that now as I record this. And that is really great. I mean, that's like most people who have channels would love to have those numbers. But yet, yeah, I look at other people doing similar things in the inspiration space, and they got millions of viewers. I'm going, man, I would like to get there. What do I need to do to get there? And there's moments where you could feel, oh, it's not there yet. So actually, this whole perception of how well you're doing is all based on comparison. It's something I'm becoming more and more realized. So it's like, what is a lot of money? It's only a lot or a little bit of money as compared to what? What is happiness or joy or a successful life? It's always in comparison to something else. So, having $1,000 in the bank could be a hugely abundant life if you're comparing it to somebody with $10 in the bank. But you could feel inadequate if you're comparing it to somebody with $100,000 in their bank account, sitting there as a nest egg or whatever. And so, yeah, we can. It's okay to be inspired by what other people doing or are doing. It's okay to be aware of what others have done or succeeded. That's but try to but don't get caught in that comparison trap where you start belittling yourself for not being at that level and thinking I could never get there. I'm not worthy. All right, it's just like a mind shift. All this stuff is a mind shift. So yeah, it's okay. Just don't let these feelings, control you. You can take control of them. We got Priyanka. Good to see you again here. Got your message over on the Telegram there. I think it's Telegram, isn't it? Telegraph? No, Telegram. One of the many social sites. Now we got Blue Sky. Oh my God, I just joined over there too, and then Threads. And there's just so many of them I can't keep up with it. But I try to be on all of them, as much as I can. All right, so let's keep rolling along here. Again, if you're just joining us, pop in there where you're watching from. We got people from all over the globe watching right now, and so appreciate you all being here. But I just like to get a handle. If you're able to leave a comment, please do so to say, "Hey, Bob, here watching from wherever your city, state, or country is." All right. So let's talk about the costs of staying stuck, the costs of allowing fear of judgment and the fear of rejection to slow you down or to stop you. So basically, it's just like when you let the opinion of others, and actually, it's not even the opinion of others. Sometimes you're just worried about what people might say. You're not even worried about what people have actually, they haven't even said it yet. You're just like worried about what if somebody pops up and they make fun of this or that, or they're not respected in some way. And so what is that costing you? Missed opportunities, untapped potential, a life that feels smaller than it should be. You end up not shining your light. You end up not sharing your gifts. And that doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve the world. I think I mentioned this yesterday when a quote that I don't think Wayne Dyer said it originally. I think he was quoting someone else. I just don't know the original source, but it's don't die with your music still inside of you. Or don't go to your grave with your book inside of you, or the art collection, or the body of music or body of work that you can create still inside of you because you played small or just allowed these fears, these perceptions to slow you down and to not allow you to shine your light, And so that's the cost of it, and that's not, again, it doesn't serve you and it doesn't serve humanity and that slice of the population that you can reach with your message. It doesn't do any of you any good. So, yes, indeed, it's day 2, Magical Stories with Ari. Brandon is watching from Maine. Yes, Priyanka from South Africa. Who else is here? Free Spirited Empath, also South Africa. Man, we just have a lot of them. Life Quotes from India. Lucy, what is the deal with South Africa this time of day? What time is it there? It's 11:18 a.m. here where I am in St. Louis, Missouri. Are you like 6 or 7 hours ahead? Maybe it's the evening. Lee's from the UK. Yeah, for those folks that are in South Africa, let me know what time it is there, just so I kind of get a sense of where you're at. And Ruth Dowd says, yes, I have a lot of fears. So here's what I want you to post in there. Thank you for posting where you're watching from. This is my first. I'm going to have a couple of spots where I want you to share some things with you. Yesterday, I asked you, what's the limiting belief that's holding you back? But today, I want to ask something different. What's one dream or goal that you've held back on because of fear of judgment, fear of rejection, maybe the fear of the uncertainty of it all? But you let fear of some kind, in particular judgment or rejection, what's the goal? I don't need to know necessarily what the fear is, but what's that aspiration that you've had that you have not poured energy into because fear has held you back? Maybe it's writing your book, maybe it's starting a YouTube channel or growing a YouTube channel, starting a podcast. It could be speaking to groups. It could be any number of, starting a nonprofit, starting a sideline business, a graphic design business, or social media company, whatever it is. I want to know what's that dream or that goal that you have held back on because of fear of judgment, fear of rejection. Just share it in the comments here. I'd like to think of this as a safe space, but I am going to highlight some of them and share it with others. Just so, and in doing that, we just let each other know that we're not alone, that we all face these fears. But I'd like to also know what your aspirations are. So what is that thing that you want to do, that bucket list item, that big, bold, bodacious goal, as we like to call it? And I'm going to come back to those. Sometimes there's a little delay from the time that I ask for a comment and the time that it populates in there. And so I'm going to read a couple of things here. I'm going to share some stories of people who have overcome rejection. And then I'll come back to your comments. So there was once a young man who was fired from a newspaper job because his employer said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. He also faced bankruptcy multiple times before finally achieving success with his animation company. And that guy was Walt Disney. He eventually did pretty well for himself. I think you might agree. Here's another example is a person who did not speak fluently until he was around 4 years old, leading some people to believe that he had learning disabilities. He also faced rejection when applying for academic positions early in his career. And but that didn't stop Albert Einstein from becoming one of the most influential physicists in history, did it? And then there was this young boy who was crippled with shyness and low self-esteem for the first couple decades of his life. But he went on to play in rock bands. He went on to do stand-up comedy and improv comedy. He published 16 books, and today he runs one of the most popular affirmation channels on YouTube. Yep, I'm talking about yours truly. That's my story. And so there are many people that have faced these challenges and overcome them, and I'm telling you that because I want you to do that too. So I'm just going to check in with some comments here. Pamela says, let me lower that down here. I'm actually able to highlight some of the comments here. Pamela says, I'm not asking enough for the facials and body work that I do. Yeah, because of fear of what people will think or rejection or that much. Let's see here. Andrea says, development of my nonprofit. I have the designation, but haven't moved forward. Not sure if it's fear or procrastination. Can they be the same thing? Quite often, procrastination is an avoidance mechanism. Yeah, that's because you're anytime you're doing anything new, there's a lot of uncertainty, and that's one of the biggest. We haven't. It's not. It's kind of in a different category than rejection and judgment and all that, but it is. But it's part of it. I don't think it's the exact same thing, but procrastination is basically, yeah, an avoidance mechanism where you're just kind of saving yourself because you're bracing yourself. This is going to be hard. I'm not quite ready yet, but you'll never be ready. Yesterday, I talked about this phrase that I love called start before you're ready. You'll never be ready. Might as well just start. Just see where things go. Ruth Downs says, find a soulmate. Yes, and probably the fear of rejection. That's certainly got a lot of fear of rejection, right? And judgment there. I heard Jack Canfield years ago talk about this, and I want to share this with you. He talked about like a guy, let's say, who was intimidated and fearful of asking like an attractive woman out on a date because I don't want to hear no. I don't want to be let down. He said, because what's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that happens is she can say no, and we don't go on a date. He goes, have you ever been on a date with her at this point? And he goes, well, no, I haven't asked her yet. I just barely know her. He goes, okay, so right now, your life is okay. It's good. You haven't been on a date with her. So if you ask her and she says no, you're in the exact same position you are now. So you haven't like gone down the ladder of success or anything. The worst thing that can happen is you just stay where you are, so ask, that doesn't apply to dating. It applies to all kinds of things. We have a slogan with the Pookie coin. It's what get your ask out there. So the more that you ask for things in a polite way, with keeping the other person's needs in mind, the more things that you'll attract and that will happen in your life. So don't be afraid to ask, as long as you're doing it from a position of genuine, creating win-win situations. Lisa says, thing that's slowing her down, her goal is my book, my coaching services, and being fully authentic. Absolutely. Magical stories. Becoming a singing pinup girl. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Yeah, I guess you're wondering what people are going to think about that, right? Fear of writing short stories or a novel. Jennifer says, getting my book published. Priyanka, trading Forex successfully. Somebody just quoted Wayne. I'm assuming Wayne Dyer, but hi, Hope. You're from Jamaica. Great to have you here. And now I've heard that it is, sounds like it's 7 or 8 hours ahead in South Africa there. Awesome. And Ruth from Atlanta. Let's see if there are any others. Yep. Like Lisa says, if you never ask, the answer is always 100% no. But if you ask, it's gonna be you're gonna get some some yeses along the way. Hmm. This is interesting. Is it Ari? I'm assuming that. Yeah, I hope I got that right. I'm the type that hates to be seen or heard, but loathes when people don't hear or see me clearly. Now, I mean, you obviously see what the conundrum is there. It's like you can't win. There's those two diametrically opposed things. I don't like to be seen or heard, but you're probably frustrated when people don't see or hear you. So we have to resolve that conflict. Um, and I'm thinking, getting over the hatred. Well, getting over the loathing of either side of it. Be okay with it. Be okay with the fact that you currently feel that you don't like to be seen or heard. Try to soften your reaction when people don't see or hear you, because it's probably rests on your shoulders. You're not really expressing yourself in a way that people are going to resonate or recognize that you're saying something because you're holding back. So a little bit of internal work there, but just give yourself some ease and some grace. Hi, Lucy. It says, starting my master's degree, been doing other personal development course just to keep busy, not really fear, but yeah, procrastination. So yeah, I'm a big believer in education and learning and, absorbing as many tips and best practices, but some people use that as a form of procrastination. Well, I'm doing the work. I'm investing. I'm buying the books and I'm reading the stuff. Or you buy the book and don't open the cover. You register for the course and maybe do the first lesson and then fall away from it. So either if you're going to invest in that stuff, really go through them and most importantly, apply the principles to your life. But if you find yourself constantly, if the reason that you're doing that was I need more information before I could take the first step, that's not going to serve you. It's not serving you. Again, just start before you're ready. And that doesn't mean taking huge, big, bold steps. Take baby steps. Start interacting with people in that field. Just start having conversations about it. Start creating in that realm and start sharing it, the early stages of it. Because at the early stages, nobody's going to be following. You probably don't have a huge following. There's not a whole lot of downside to that. You can make mistakes without a huge following, seeing what you're up to. So just start taking those baby steps, and you'll get more clarity, and you'll get more confidence as you move along there. So, thank you for sharing all those things. All right, I'm gonna have to move along here for these. Let's see here. All right, thank you for sharing your all of your great comments there. What's coming up here is I'm going to be talking about some mindset shifts that you can take to overcome fear. I'll be sharing some techniques on how to reframe rejection. I got some affirmations that we're going to do that I think will really help you. I'm going to talk about the power of action. If time allows, on my notes here on the plan, if I don't get too long-winded here, is I might even lead you through a guided visualization I think will be really helpful. And so that's coming up. But first, I just want to share with you. So this is a whole series of live streams that I'm doing, absolutely free, totally available to the public, at 7 days a week. I'm sorry, for 7 days this week, Monday through Sunday. So this Sunday, the 24th, will be the last of the 7 days of doing this. And I just want to share this because it's a journey that I've been on. I'm actually at a stage where I'm, as successful as I am, modestly, I'm ready to, I want to up my game. So I started creating things practices that I could do throughout the day to sort of get my mind and my actions aligned with this bigger version. Because again, I've reaching a lot of people and done a lot of cool things. And very proud of that. So grateful for the audience that I built. But I just wonder, can I even do more? Can I impact more people? And so I've started creating something that helped me and going like, oh my God, I want to share this. And so last week, I spent most of last week creating this new program I just want to tell you about here before we go on to the rest of the tips that I have for you. But it's called Unstoppable: Unleash Your Full Potential and Thrive at the Game of Life. And again, it's all designed to give you the mindset aspects, to diminish those negative voices, to replace them with more empowering voices in your head about playing a bigger game, and to ultimately change your identity so that you start acting from this position of power and empowerment. And so the link to go and learn about this, and you'll be amazed. Well, yeah, there's some things about it that are kind of crazy. With bobbakerinspiration.com/7, it's the number 7, will take you to a page to learn more about it. Lisa's popping it in the live chat, and it's also in the description of this video. But when you go to that link, you come to this page here, and you can just scroll through here and learn all about this program. You're living your most powerful version of yourself. Talk about different scenarios that, like as we discussed here in the chat, about what you might be aspiring to do and maybe falling short of. There's me with the silver plaque when I hit 100,000 subscribers a few years ago, currently at 400,000 plus, about 70 million views on the channel. Here's a description of all the things that come with it, which include affirmations to rewire your brain. I got audio pep talks, a guided visualization, journal pages and prompts. And then here's the thing I want to point out to you that you may be shocked. I really want to get this into the hands of as many people as possible, and so this is a paid program, but it's really name your own price with a minimum of $11.11. That's right, that powerful magical number 1111. It would be hard pressed to find somebody that couldn't, afford an investment of that small amount into their personal growth. And so I'm hoping that creates an incentive. And the reason I put a small price on it is because I know that even investing a small amount like this will it'll attract people that are really willing to act on it. Even that little bit is going to be an investment. It's you making a commitment to your personal growth, and I'm only opening this up and to people for these 7 days and take it off the market. I'm going to get feedback from the people who have purchased it and gone through it, and then I may tweak it and re-release it later. I'm sure at a higher price. Once I've gotten feedback from those folks. Yeah, Jennifer, you just signed up, didn't you? Just started the program after yesterday's show. Cool. Thank you for doing that, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Just so you know, these live streams that I'm doing are just like part of a free thing I'm doing just to educate people. And even if you don't purchase the course, there's going to be a ton of value in all these live streams that I'm doing. But if you do the course, when you sign up for it, wait, let me go back here in a second. And I'm going to get back to the content here in just a second, but bear with me. This is what it looks like when you register for the course. There's a start here section, and you listen to that, a welcome message. There are instructions there. You can download and print the journal pages, and then I have a section there for your feedback, where I want you to tell me what's working, what did you like about it, what could be improved. And then I've taken these 18 hand-selected affirmations, and I've recorded versions of them in multiple ways. There are I am versions without spaces, I am versions with spaces for you to repeat them back. There's a you are pep talk version. There's a guided visualization with journal prompts, and then a completely different sleep affirmations that you listen to at bedtime. And this is a completely pre-recorded. There's no live sessions with this that you have to worry about making a schedule about. It's all self-guided, pre-recorded stuff that you just log into that course and consume them as often. I recommend, well, if you read the instructions, I recommend that you listen to the affirmations, different versions of them 3 times a day, and initially to really ingrain these principles. And I want to see what amazing results you get, and hoping that you can report back to me on that. All right. So that is that, and I hope you take advantage of that because it's only available for 7 days. bobbakerinspiration.com/7 for the low price. Come on now, $11, $11, $11.11 or more. You can add more, and some people have. I'm going to give a shout out to some of the folks who have signed up, probably tomorrow, like Jennifer there. If I recognize any other names, I'll give them a shout out too. All right, I'm going to take a drink, and then we're going to continue on with some mindset shifts. All right. Let me just check out some of the comments here too. Oh, it looks like so. Andrea, you purchased it in recent days. I've listened to the affirmations and fell asleep listening to the sleep one last night. I'm looking forward to the results. Yeah, great. And that sleep one is intended. Yeah, it's not an insult that you fell asleep. It's an hour long that you play it. You know, when you lay down to go to sleep at night, and you let it play as you drift off to sleep. The idea being that those positive affirmations are going to infiltrate your subconscious mind. Hmm. Hey there, Golden Sun. Thank you very much. Just what you needed. Great to hear. And all right, there. Bob, Bob needs an album. I'm not sure what that what that means. I've got a many music albums out. Uh, oh, this is. Thank you for these kind words. No channel on YouTube has helped me more with performing than yours, hands down. I resonate deeply. That's so sweet to hear. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the kind words there. Warms my heart. It's why I do what I do. It lifts me up. I live this wonderful life where I'm able to positively impact people all over the world and make a living doing it. And so, if that inspires you, I don't want that to intimidate you. I want that to inspire you to make you do your own version of it. There's some gift that you have that can uplift and inspire people as well. And it doesn't have to be YouTube. You might have a different platform. You might use a podcast. You might do something on Instagram or whatever. You might have a traveling performing arts show or whatever, in the real world. So whatever that is, I want to inspire you to pursue that dream and experience those benefits. All right, so let's talk about reframing rejection. So a lot of times if you do get turned down or somebody says no, or you're pursuing some kind of a speaking event or you want to perform at a venue and they go, no, we're just not ready. Rejection is not failure. It's just evidence that you're taking action and stepping outside of your comfort zone. So here's the thing. If you're not getting rejected occasionally or getting the occasional pushback or somebody who has some negative thing to say about you, which I rarely get them, to be honest, but I do get them. And it's like, how are you going to frame those? But if if you're always playing it safe, you never hear any pushback. You never, you never ask for anything. So you're never hearing no. You're not playing big enough then. That's just so hearing no's and getting the occasional negative thought means, okay, I'm stepping up my game. I'm getting myself out there. I'm reaching more people. So of course, just by the law of averages, you're going to get that minority, that small percentage of people. So it's actually one way you can reframe rejection and judgment is that, oh, I'm doing a good job. I'm actually reaching enough people where I get this feedback. Good for me, right? What if you approached it that way instead of thinking, oh, what would the people think? Maybe what they say is true. Maybe I'm just an imposter. Who am I? Just reframe it. It goes, oh, good. So maybe if you're not getting enough kind of negative comments, I wouldn't go out of your way to pursue that and start doing these, crazy things that are inappropriate. But just reframe it. Rejection is not failure. It's evidence that you're taking action and stepping outside of your comfort zone and you're reaching more people. Therefore, you're always going to get a small percentage of people. So, and like I said yesterday, be aware of those people, acknowledge, and there might even be a lesson in it. Early on in my YouTube thing, a number of people were leaving in my YouTube, 7-8 years ago when I started posting affirmations. A number of people left comments saying, the affirmations are too close together. You're not giving me enough room to repeat them in between. So I didn't ignore that. Once I saw that, there seems to be a number of people. This is like a thing with a lot of folks. And so I changed. I pivoted and I started, ever since then, I try to leave more space in between. And that's probably the most time-consuming thing about me recording the affirmations is the audio, and I really spend a lot of time making sure I've given enough space in between, to that point where I'm not hanging too long, but giving people enough time to absorb it, and think about it before I move on to the next affirmation. It may still be too close for some people, but so listening, there might be some gifts in the feedback that you get. Not all of it's bad. But for the people who are just being nasty, it's so easy to do from a distance on social media. Ignore them and focus on the people who are resonating with you, like these wonderful comments that I'm getting here. That's what fuels me, not any of the occasional negative thoughts. Change the narrative. What? Oh yes, this is a great one. You've heard this before, I'm sure. What others think of you is none of your business. It's really other people's opinions are shaped more by their own insecurities and not the truth of who you are. It says more about them than it says about you. So just realize that. All right. Um, so don't take it so personally. And I guess you do have to develop a little bit of a thick skin, as they say, and that does come with over time. Just like you have to, you develop confidence over time. You develop this ability to hear the occasional negative thing and not let it weigh you down. But it's okay. You're human. Initially, you hear a negative thought and you go, "Ooh, that was mean. Oh, that didn't feel good." But that's just part of the process. That just means that you're reaching enough people to hear that. You're taking a stand on something. So yeah, people. Oh, another thing is, well, you're so sensitive. Like, what are people going to think of me? They're not going to like this or that about me. And here's the real truth. So just think about this. What's causing that is you're focused on yourself and you're self-aware. What are people going to judge me as? But everyone's focused more on themselves. So people are much more focused on their own lives, and they're wondering what others are going to think about them, that they're not even paying attention to you. A lot of times we just worry about what others are going to think of us, and we come to find out that they're just not even aware of us, or they're ignoring us. So your real dilemma is not judgment. It's like it's sharing an obscurity. So you want to get people's attention. You want them to focus on you and your message. And quite often they're not. So they're not out there judging you. They're worried about their own issues, you know? So people are much more focused on their own lives than they are on judging you or others. All right, you want to do some affirmations here? Let's see there. So I've got some here, and I'm gonna say each one of them. We're just gonna leave a little space for you to repeat them back to yourself. But I like this. Here we go. I release the need to please others and embrace my own truth. I'll repeat that, and then I'll give you some space to repeat it back to yourself. I release the need to please others and embrace my own truth. Go ahead and say that. Again, I release the need to please others and embrace my own truth. Here's the one I'm going to break up. I'm going to say the whole thing and then break it up into two. Rejection is not a reflection of my value. It's simply part of the journey. So I'll split that up. Rejection is not a reflection of my value. Say it. It's simply part of the journey. It is two more shorter ones here. I am worthy of success. Say that to yourself and mean it. I am worthy of success. Here's another one. I deserve to pursue my dreams. Say that one. I deserve to pursue my dreams. And affirmations are one of many tools you can use, but they're very powerful because you're sending that, we all have those inner conversations with ourselves. And so you can influence those conversations by stating things just like that. All right, let's talk about the power of action. So, confidence, resilience, developing that, if you want to call it a thick skin. Yes, a lot of it, you can do a lot of this in your mind with affirmations. You can build up your confidence, but really, the only way to really build it up is through taking action. And so the more that you take reasonable risks or just put yourself out there, and then you see that you not only survive, but you even thrive when you take those actions, and even along with the rejection, if you get it, which again, a lot of it's in your head, but the less fear will have a power over you and the more confidence you will build. So really, it's all about baby steps. I've said it again. Baby steps. Take action. Start before you're ready. Combine this positive mindset that you're building. Put those negative thoughts in the back seat and just do something. anything. Just start heading in the direction of whatever that dream is that you have, and you'll see that you'll not only survive it, but it's not that bad after all. Then you go, oh, I survived this. Feels kind of good. Yeah, I had a success here. Okay, I'm going to use this enthusiasm to fuel my next move. And then your next move after that, and just keep moving forward. All right. Um, and that's why the Unstoppable program, I think, will help you certainly with the mindset aspect, but also there's aspects of it that I encourage you to pair it with action. And so, again, I really hope that that. Oh, that's funny. Oh, man, I deserve to pursue my dreams. Made my gut clench. Yeah, that word "deserve" can really trigger some people. And so that's telling you something about your belief in yourself, and it's okay to feel that way. Um, and so that so when you have a reaction like that, instead of feeling like, oh, I'm a failure, I don't just think, oh, now I have a new awareness of how I'm thinking. Now I'm aware of that belief that maybe I'm not deserving or I'm not worthy, but now I'm going to lower the volume on that. I'm going to raise the volume on this other message that I know, and over time I will come to know and feel and realize it's the truth of who I am. That's your goal, and that's my hope and wish for you. And so again, I hope you check out the program. We're not quite finished here, but I'm just going to plug it again. Unstoppable, unleash your full potential and thrive at the game of life. If you head to bobbakerinspiration.com/7, it'll take you to a page that explains more about it. And again, I think I already told you I recorded these 18 affirmations in multiple ways because I know I'm encouraging you to listen to them not just in the morning. I know most of the people listen to my affirmations in the morning once a day, but I think during this initial phase of upping your game, doing it 3 times a day is really going to accelerate your growth and your progress. And so morning, afternoon, and then the nighttime one. And so instead of listening to the same one over and over, I know if I listen to the same thing over and over, it starts to wear off after a while. It gets a little monotonous. That's why I've given you different versions that you can mix it up. So whatever, if you like the one particular one, go ahead and play it all the time. There's no set system here, but play one of them at least in the morning, one in the afternoon, and that obviously the sleep one would be the one to do at night, unless you like to get energized in the evening too. And then there are journal pages. There's a guided visualization I'm going to walk you through in there. And basically my hope is, or what the whole reason I designed this is that by the end of this, after a few weeks or however long, that you come to the realization or reach a point where you stop living your life on autopilot and you're more intentional, you're more conscious, you're more in control of your thoughts and your actions, that you overcome this fear, you've overcome the procrastination that we've talked about here, that you build the confidence to take action, to take those baby steps, to start before you're ready. And my hope also is, I think you all have, especially if you're applying this to a business thing or something that you want to share a message, that you reach a lot more people with your message. Again, don't keep us to yourself. Don't hide in the shadows and let this fear, this fear keep you from sharing the gifts that you have. And my hope is that you can turn your passion, this thing that maybe has been on the back burner, into a thriving reality where you're reaching people, maybe even making money from it, too, if that's part of your goal, but at least making an impact on people's lives, and sharing your gifts, your music, your dance, whatever that is. And so that's my story there. Let me look at the time here and see what we've got time for. Let's just go ahead and do this quick visualization. Are you still with me? Would you like to do a quick kind of meditative thing? It'll be a short version of what I got in the program. And again, the Unstoppable thing, that the paid version has no live components. They're all pre-recorded audio segments that you do on your own time. You just log into I use a platform called Kajabi to do that. So yeah, we'll do two more things here. And so if you're in a position, you may not be, but if you're in a position just to relax, if you can close your eyes, great. And if you're driving or doing, working out or something, that's fine. Just do this in your mind with your eyes open. But I just want you to take a couple of deep breaths with me. Take a deep breath in and out. You can take another deep breath in, hold it, and let it out. Now, I want you to think about that big goal, think a specific one. You may have multiple goals, but think about that thing that maybe you posted earlier about something that you've been putting on the back burner, a desire you've had, just one specific thing. Could be publishing a book, starting a business, whatever that thing is. I want you to project yourself into the future and imagine that you have achieved that thing. And I want you to put yourself in a setting where that would be, where you would be experiencing that. It could be on stage winning an award. It could be at a book signing. It could be at the opening of your restaurant or your coffee shop or your retail store. But put yourself in an environment where you would be if you had succeeded at that thing. All right? Just see yourself there. And instead of observing yourself as if, through a camera or something, actually look through your own eyeballs out into the world in that environment that you're in. And how does that feel? You achieved this thing that you've longed for so many years. You're there. Like, where are you in that environment? Who are you with? Who are the people that are surrounding you there, cheering you on, supporting you? How do you feel in your body? Like, how are you carrying yourself? How are you standing? What emotions are running through your mind and your body and your soul? Can you see the faces of the people around you? What kind of conversations are you having with people in this environment? What are you wearing? Yeah. How did you dress up for this occasion? What are the sights, the sounds, the smells? What are you hearing? Is there music playing? Is it peaceful? Is it a party? Just take that all in. Just put yourself in that position. Just immerse yourself in that feeling. Neville Goddard called it assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Your wish has been fulfilled. You are there. You're feeling it. You're vibrating at that energy, at that level of having achieved the thing that you longed for. Now you can take that, we can come back to the present moment, hold on to that feeling, hold on to that vibration, and embody that now. It doesn't matter that the specific aspects of it have not manifested or aren't exactly in that form, but you can still vibrate at that energy. And from that position is where you start taking action. Like how you start interacting with people, feeling that, yeah, it's done. Oh my God, I can feel, I'm grateful in advance for all the blessings that are coming my way, for having achieved this thing. It's from that position that you can take inspired action, confident action. It doesn't matter if people judge you, right? It doesn't matter. I love it. So this is kind of a semi-short version of this. I've got a more complete one in the Unstoppable program with background music and all that good stuff. But I hope you found this helpful. Now come back to the present. Take a deep breath. If you've had your eyes closed, roll your shoulders, wiggle your toes, your fingers, whatever. And so here's what I want you to do as we wrap things up here. One way to quiet that fear is to step into action, as I said. So you're vibrating as if the wish has been fulfilled. What is that small little step that you're going to take today, preferably today, or at least this week, but I'm going to say today? What's a little baby step that you can take, a physical action, to move you closer to that reality, or to that desire? Post that in the comments. I'm going to highlight some of them, and then we're going to wrap things up here for today. Man, I didn't know we were going to go for almost an hour. Was that awesome? Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I'm just going to highlight. Lisa said during that visualization, she goes, "I'm at an annual destination recovery retreat with my clients celebrating the beauty of life." Oh, I like that. An annual destination recovery. If you could specify to yourself where that is, where that's taking place, you know. But I would go ahead and pop in there if you can. One or two, like some of the a little baby step that you're going to take. I just want to highlight that and celebrate that and hold that intention with you. Yeah, I'm in. I'm with you. A lot of people say yes earlier. That's awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, if I know there's a little bit of a delay. If I don't see some comments here soon, I'm going to wrap things up. But in the meantime, I'm just going to remind you this week only for 7 days, Unstoppable, Unleash Your Full Potential and Thrive at the Game of Life. It's something I really was inspired last week to create, something I've been using in my own life that I find has been highly effective. And to name your own price with a minimum of $11.11. I'm not sure why anyone wouldn't at least take that plunge and get it this week before I take it off the market after Sunday. Um, so, Andrea says she's going to apply for a grant. Awesome. That is something. Yes. And you might even break that down if you haven't even started that process. It might be able to. I don't know if you've identified a grant. I mean, there's multiple steps involved there. So what's the baby step there? Is it choosing the grant? Is it getting the form? Are you going to be working with a grant writer? So really pick it, break it down. What's that next little baby step that you can take? I will pick up a book to study pinup girl styles and burlesque dance. Very cool. Yep. That is an action. When I get rejected, just think, ooh, that means not right now. That means I'm putting myself out there enough to actually get some feedback like that. I love it. Yep. Like Lisa says, can't wait to hear how you guys feel after your baby steps. All right. Well, I'm going to do this live for 7 days in a row. This is day 2. I'll be back at the same time at noon Eastern, I guess it is. And with another aspect of this about you stepping up, shining your light, being a full expression of who you are. And Andrea said, "It is so worth it, Bob. 1111 is nothing compared to the gems of the program." Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's name your own price, so you can put in more. I want to make it affordable, get it to a lot of people by as many people as possible, while still having you invest something in your personal growth. But if you want to add more, and some people have, which is greatly appreciated, you can add more to that if you like what I'm doing here. All right, everybody, have a great day. See you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Love you all. Take care. Talk to you again soon. So long for now.